I was given a code for the newest game in the Neptunia series, Game Maker Revolution. I was kinda turned off from playing it at first because I'm not much of a Neptunia fan. I played like 1.5 of the games, and that's if you even count the Senran Kagura game as part of the series. But even if I'm not that into it, I do like the idea of what it's focused on. Having a roster of characters that are references to different game consoles, developers, and studios can be a fun idea from time to time. But it wasn't until I heard that this was more of an action RPG that I started to get more interested in things. Although that may not make a huge difference in my opinion. So today let's answer the question of what the hell is up with Neptunia Game Maker Revolution. I knew going into this that the story and dialogue probably wouldn't be my favorite part, but I'm sure you'll be used to it if you enjoy the other games in the series. There's plenty of humor and puns sprinkled into each interaction between the entire roster of characters. You could expect things to be cringe, of course, but again, that's pretty normal for these games. But the biggest draw for me was just within the references. We have some brand new characters introduced, and they're based on real life consoles like the Atari Jaguar, the Panasonic 3DO, and even the Apple Pippin. All of these were obviously failures in real life, which is why this group is called the Failure Goddesses. They team up with older Neptune and work towards creating a game company that we have to build from the ground up. That's where we start to get into some of the main mechanics of creating games, hiring developers, marketing, and tracking sales. It's like one big tycoon game built within this whole package, and it's probably one of the better parts of the game to me. The whole game revolves around characters both old and new competing with their own gaming companies. And that brings back others like Noir, Blank, and Vert, who run companies that totally aren't like PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox. And yeah, we got the younger sisters here too, but what I really liked seeing was the software companies like Konami, Square Enix, and Capcom. Again, I just love the little references they sneak in here. Now for the big bad enemies we fight against, they're also just supposed to be pirates, and the reference there is clear as day. They're led by a character named R4, who's supposed to be the ROM card on the DS with the same name, R4. Then we have her goons that are called Copy the Hard, Copy the Art, and Copy the Code, all connecting with parts of games they steal and sell for themselves. And there's a lot of interactions and dialogue that everyone digs into, so for anybody who wants to see more of that, you have plenty to look forward to. Your main goal is to make as many great quality games as you can using all of your resources. You get rankings and reviews based on the quality of each game, and there's plenty of options you can mess around with. They even have some characters you can recruit, and they obviously are references to people like Parappa the Rapper, Ryu from Street Fighter, and the Animal Crossing villager. And the types of games that each one is good at making even connects with their designs. Then you can get even deeper into the individual stats, styles, and bonuses each developer has to make even better games. But this whole game is not just a tycoon simulator, since every disc you develop can be equipped to your party members and help them in battle. Those discs will give you abilities and buffs that end up being extremely important, as you'll see in a sec. So do your best to make as many great games as possible for the reviews, the money, the upgrade points, and the skills. But to be honest, when I got the code from Idea Factory, I was thinking that the main gameplay would be more like a turn-based RPG. Luckily for me it wasn't, but that's not exactly a good thing. So before now I only ever played Hyperdimension Neptunia U and Neptunia Cross Senran Kagura Ninja Wars. One of them is really similar to a Dynasty Warriors game, and the other is really close to a Senran Kagura game. You can actually watch my video on that one if you want my full opinions on it. But this game is a lot less exciting than both of those. It plays damn near exactly like another recent game in the series called Sisters vs. Sisters. Now I've never played that one myself, but I almost couldn't tell the difference between the two when I watched some gameplay. Like when you look at it, it might not seem that bad, but holy shit does the combat get so stale so quickly. A lot of what you're doing is running through dungeons to complete side quests and tasks that move the story forward. Enemies will walk around and touching them will bring you into a battle. While you do have your square and X buttons for attacks and combos, it never felt like doing combos made any difference. I'm more used to playing games that have a more tight feeling in combat where you can tell when you're doing good, messing up, and where you need improvement. But damn near every fight in this game felt like it was way too simple. Outside of mashing one of the attack buttons, you only need to do one other thing to guarantee you win 90% of the fights. After a basic combo, a prompt pops up to link chain with another member in your party. Doing that will put you in control of them and you can keep the combo going for a higher damage multiplier. You kinda rinse and repeat that for a few seconds and you don't ever need to turn your brain on to do anything else. And I'm not even gonna lie, I was actually falling asleep in a lot of places because there was nothing special about any of these battles. Even when I had times that I died, it's because I wasn't paying attention and didn't keep my link chains going. Now the combat can be a little more in depth if you want to change up the combos for everyone and set whatever skills you think are best. You either mash square until the end of that combo, or mash X until the end of that combo, or you can just alternate between the different combo settings you have for each one. So most of the time I would just say screw it and mash square until the prompt came up for another link chain. The way the combat is, I was wondering if I was doing something wrong because it just didn't feel satisfying. So I did some digging online to see what other people had to say about it, and for the most part, it's just people talking about how to cheese battles. And that's mainly the strategy of using the skill Power Cancel so you can link chain quickly before the combo even ends. And of course, you get that skill from developing the right kind of disc in the Tycoon game. And the funny thing is, they even give you a ton of materials that specifically help you make discs with that skill. That strategy alone is something that sounds utterly broken, even though it's baked into the core mechanics. Like seriously, through all the discussions, I never saw anything about specific items to equip or even things about team synergy. It was just people talking about how to cheese the game as much as they can. And honestly, with that alone, I saw just about as much as I needed to with this game. Game Maker Revolution is absolutely a game made for its core audience, with the characters and dialogue fans love and even more references to get a kick out of. But as a game fitting within the action RPG genre, I'm not gonna lie, it's not that great. The dungeons are repetitive, the fights are bland, and the main gimmick makes mashing buttons into the only strategy that you would ever need to make it through. Now I'm not gonna lie, some of the bosses did give me trouble. But even then, I didn't need to put too much extra thought into how I took them down. Unless you're somebody who's already heavily invested in the Neptunia series, I don't think you'll want to play this. The Tycoon sim is cute and all, but I can't see any other reason to get into this unless you care enough about these characters and the story. But hey, maybe you have a different opinion. Let me know what you think about Neptunia Game Maker Revolution in the comments. Subscribe for more videos just like this one. I'll see you all in the next video.